The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. For the best in vacation plannings, just visit www.sandpipervacations.com. Let them know that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Right, so I had to prepare for like two events, so I had to have plenty of beer.
Really, in theory, you didn't even need to watch that game. They were playing the Giants. It was probably, 42-0 was the final score, most likely?
Yeah, you'd think, but we're playing the Giants, who were the Philadelphia Eagles, so of course it was a close nail-biter. So, had to have plenty of beer.
Meanwhile, little nephew Timmy is like, can I open up presents? Chris is like, shut up. The Eagles are on.
Yeah, well, that's actually a true story. We live in the greater Philadelphia region, so all the beer we had went. The beer went before the bottles of water and Capri Sun went.
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios. It's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
That's right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast, voted number 1 by our friends and family, and number 3 by the Orlando Weekly Readers Poll. We are the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. Now, if you'd like to connect with us on all of our social media, all of our links are right there on our website. That's nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our sweet merchandise. Join our clubhouse for as low as $2 a month. That's our Patreon. Become a friend with benefits and watch us record all of these things live. You get exclusive access to never before seen interviews and commentary and cutting room floor and all that good stuff. Right now we are streaming live segment 1 on Twitch. That's www.twitch.tv/NNF podcast. And please give us a subscribe on YouTube. Just search No New Friends podcast. Also, a link is on the website. My name is Scott. I'm the host. With me, as always, my extremely talented cast of characters, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Scott, for the love of God, please stop drinking tonight.
Okay. Everybody's favorite food truck critic, Sarah.
Hello.
And our producer, Alex.
It's me, the guy who edits the podcast.
So, happy week after Christmas. This is actually our New Year's episode, so I don't know why I'm saying happy week after Christmas. Happy New Year's, everybody. It's New Year's Eve. This episode is going to come out in the morning, so you can listen to it all day long. But this is a depressing time of year for me, Sarah. I don't know.
Debt collection week after Christmas?
Well, I don't know what debt is. So I get sad after Christmas is over. I love the magic of Christmas and getting excited about Christmas, the Christmas music, and like starting December 26th, I don't care about Christmas. Like Christmas is dead to me at this point.
Oh,
but I do have that like through New Year's, it's like, okay, well now I'm kind of excited about New Year's because it's like still the holiday season. You could still be festive with the Christmas lights and all that. And then New Year's comes and it's kind of just a letdown because it's not Christmas. It's just a holiday that like comes and goes and nothing really happens.
Yeah, no, New Year's is kind of like a fake holiday to me. That's
right.
A weird holiday.
Right.
Just like I think birthdays are kind of weird. New Year's is kind of like a birthday for the earth, but not really even.
No.
Like it's kind of like made up. Like some white guy just made up New Year's one time.
Right.
What's
a calendar?
Birthdays where it's like you can
Thomas
Calendar.
Thomas Calendar.
Correct. Yeah, I'm sorry. Shout out to Thomas. Yeah, kind of weird. Like Happy New Year. I feel like New Year's is for all people who who are like failures and have like really bad luck.
Right.
It's like it's just like a time for them to start over. Like fat people. Like shout out to obesity in America because like that's like the gym memberships start coming in. Like I will be getting a Planet Fitness membership next week.
And I am going 100%. To be buying stock in Planet Fitness for all those people that I'm going to sell come February.
Yeah, you have to, right? Not March because we're slackers. We procrastinate.
Right,
we don't.
Right.
We don't quit that easy. Well, we don't. We put off quitting, I should say.
Yeah, it's so funny. A lot of people are like, oh, screw this past year. A new year, new me. No, Susan, it's the same you, just with a new haircut. But
what are you talking about, Susan?
Yeah, Susan, you're going to make the same mistakes.
Sometimes we need that to make ourselves feel better, really, though.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, honestly, like when we need a change, we just chop off all of our hair or something. That's what's happening. It's our own level of crisis.
Right. No, anytime I see a girl cut their hair, I'm like, okay, either break up or they just start a new therapy journey. One of the two. I don't know. I get sad when the clock strikes 12. I get sad because it's another year gone. And now it's the year that I spent the last 365 days in is now a memory. It's no longer the present. And I struggle with that a lot of times when, yeah, this is a deep thing. When something is no longer the present for me and now it's a memory, I struggle with that. Like I look forward towards the future. Like, I've got my friend has this vacation coming up and he's very excited about this vacation and visualizing this vacation. And while he's on this vacation, it's going to be amazing, but he'll only be on that vacation for a short period of time. And then it becomes a memory. And that's depressing to me.
It's a very morbid way to look at life.
It's depressing.
It's really sad.
Yes. Maybe I'm the crazy one of this group.
Is this After Dark? What are we talking about?
I don't know. But I struggle with the present becoming a memory. And I always have to pause for a minute. Okay. Every Wednesday, let's go short term. Every Wednesday, I get so excited about recording this podcast. Okay. So excited. We're in the moment and I'm excited. And then when it's done, I'm sad. And it's like,
why?
Because now it's a memory. It's not the present for me.
But it's not. You can literally press play on any Wednesday ever.
But I'm not living it in that moment. And, you guys don't answer the phone when I call or text me back. So it's like, this is the once a week that I get to.
Scott has never called me ever.
I highly doubt that was targeted towards you, Sarah. Yeah. And I can tell you why, and maybe in the next segment, why I haven't been answering your phone calls. But this segment's all about, I was going to say positivity, but
I don't know.
Just say morbidness. Yeah, this has gone very sad. You text me like, we're going to be all about joy and Christmas.
We're going to do Christmas recap. Here I am.
Yeah, what the hell?
I get sad when the present is now a memory. So speaking of past memories, how was everybody's Christmas?
Oh my gosh. Sarah, you go first because yours looked great.
Oh, well, it was incredible. Speaking of the past, or the present becoming a memory, I suppose. That's how I felt when we left Puerto Rico, because that's exactly what happened. Unintentionally, truly, I was on the flight back and about 30 seconds after takeoff, I started to cry.
Oh,
I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be back here.
I think I know why, Sarah. I think it's because the tequila is like quadruple the price on the plane.
That's the truth. Just stateside. Okay. But, I did immediately go from the airport to a liquor store and make sure that I didn't start buying shots. I just bought the whole bottle because at that point, why stop there? There was a lot of tequila over 7 days. But yeah, no, that was an incredible trip. So we spent the entire week leading up to Christmas in Puerto Rico and then came back on Christmas Eve. And then still I felt like I was still kind of in Puerto Rico for through Christmas because we were at Lewis's family's house.
And you started
Puerto
late.
Rican.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No. Actually, usually it's me holding things up, okay, in their defense.
Okay.
But, you got to get yourself ready and everything. This year, the dress code was pajamas, so that was very easy.
Very comfortable.
There's no going back, by the way. Next year will be pajamas.
I know, right?
Once you go pajamas, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, this is great.
It's kind of like sleeping with a black dude.
Once you go pajama, you don't go back.
Exactly. So, we for the past 3 episodes, we talked about my Christmas shopping and actually Rachel was extremely I did well this year. I didn't have any screw ups with keychains or anything. I got her this really nice charcuterie cheese board that the front pulls out and it's got all the utensils and even little mini chalkboard slates that you can write the name of the cheese on it and stick it in the cheese.
You still went sexist, stay in the kitchen, bitch.
Chris, here's the really funny thing, right? So I was really excited about 3 gifts that I got her. Okay. I got her an orange Florida Gator jersey that she didn't own.
Windex and then the
a vacuum cleaner. And so I got her this charcuterie board and a jewelry box. Okay. Because she always complains about losing her jewelry. Come to find out she already has a jewelry box, but that's how well I pay attention. Anyway, so I'm so excited about these 3 gifts. Okay. So first the jersey arrives, right? And she opens the bag that's like addressed to me. And she said she didn't see it, but
oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Rachel. We all know what you're up to.
Right. So then, like, okay, Amazon, you know how like you'll order something that comes in a very small box in Amazon, but they put it in a very large box?
Yes.
You know, the small box is within the large box. Chris, I wish they would have done that with the charcuterie board and the jewelry box. So
almost had it.
Almost. So I come home one day and she says, "Hey, I brought in a bunch of boxes that, you know, were addressed to you." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. Great." I look on the dining room table and on the jewelry box, it says jewelry box on the outside of the box.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "Well, great." I'm
try
like,
very hard.
Yeah. I'm like, "Now you know the gift that I got you." And she's like, "Oh, don't worry. I already saw the charcuterie board over there because they just said it in the box. It said charcuterie board." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like the 3 things that I was the most excited about, and the surprise is ruined. Meanwhile, like anytime the Alexa notification comes on, it says, "Because it's so close to the holidays, I'm not going to tell you what it is. But if you listen for 30 more seconds, I'm going to give it to you in Morse code and all that." But then they send it in the manufacturer's box.
You should have returned it and just gave her a keychain.
Well, I gave her a little dice, and not the sex dice. I've tried that. Doesn't work collecting dust. But it's a dice because we can never decide when we actually do go out to eat. We can never decide where we're going. So it's a dice that it's like Mexican on one side, African American on another side. Mexican.
What's African American food? I'm just asking.
Caribbean? I don't know. African? Okay. I don't know.
That was the most clean joke you've ever had about race on this show.
But, you know, it's got the little different food genres on it, so you can roll the dice to decide where you're going to eat. So that was kind of cool. But, okay.
Can you send that to my husband, please?
It was on Amazon.
I want one of those.
It's great. We're so excited about it. So my daughter hits me up. Now, my daughter has been struggling with her grades this year, and bless her heart, you know, she couldn't do the spring play this year because her grades were rough. Well, she worked really hard and like pulled the F up to a B and like got her grades in line right at the last minute. It was like Steph Curry from 3 to win the game. She pulls all of her grades up. So now, of course, because we weren't going to take her shopping for Christmas presents for her friends until she got her grades up. Well, now she's got her grades up. Well, now the timing, Rachel can't take her. I have to take her shopping. So this was freaking awful. Okay. She has no direction, no idea. I don't even know how, like, if she knew in her mind who she was shopping for. She had like a list on her phone, but it wasn't accurate to what we actually put in the shopping cart. So like we're checking out and I'm talking to Rachel and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm at Target. You know, I took Abby Christmas shopping. You know, that's what was supposed to happen when she got her grades up." And she's like, "Okay, well, did you put a limit on her?" And I'm like, what? So the cashier gives me my total $353 later.
Oh, very kind of her.
So Abby gave some great presents to her friends, but it was awful. We're just circling around Target, and I already hate to shop as it is.
Yeah.
Awful.
I started my shopping for Christmas last week. I went to my local mall. You know what? And I have realized this over the years too. I get very stressed during the holiday season with gift wrapping. Well, that's a part of it. But gift shopping is even worse. Gift wrap. First of all, you buy something, you buy the gift, and then you don't know what to wrap it in. So I always steal Emily's box that she buys from the store. Gift shopping is hard. The gift wrapping comes next. But anyway, I'm at the mall gift shopping.
You're going to love when your daughter gets old enough. Because I
know. She'll be my little, like, just.
I didn't wrap a single thing.
Wrap this for me.
I didn't wrap a single thing. Christmas Eve.
I wrapped stuff for my mom until I moved out last year.
Christmas Eve, my 18-year-old,
for my dad,
Michaela's wrapping all of my presents for Rachel. Yeah. It was beautiful. Yeah. And at one point she starts talking and I was like, okay, less talking, more wrapping. I want to go to bed.
I know. Yeah. I meant to say gift shopping. Gift wrapping is on my mind because it's just such a daunting task for me. So gift shopping started last week. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, no, I was going to say, starting at the age of 6, I was at the gift wrapping stand every single year, raising money. All right. And I went for like weeks on end, and now it's just therapeutic.
Yeah. She just set this up at the end of her driveway. Like a lot of kids did lemonade stand. Our little Jew entrepreneur over here was like, oh, I'm going to set up a wrapping stand at the end of my street.
That's a great idea.
Wait, listen. It was actually for a Jewish organization, and it was set up in the mall right outside of Macy's. And it was like right after Thanksgiving until Christmas Eve. And when I tell you that you men on Christmas Eve were lined out the door 100%. And for like 12 years, I was there wrapping presents. And when I tell you they sent tens of thousands of dollars to the charity, because people just hate doing it. So now it's therapeutic for me.
Horrible.
But it was for a Jewish organization.
Sarah also does a bake sale right outside of a marijuana dispensary. Yeah, just one of her.
I don't share.
Since I mistakenly said gift wrapping because it just haunts me instead of gift shopping, I will talk about my gift wrapping experience first of all. So a couple days before, no, actually the first day of Christmas was last Monday for me, and I week before Christmas, I'm at Target with my mom and we're picking out gift wrap for the gifts because I moved away from them, so I can't steal my mom's wrapping paper anymore. And Emily buys her own wrapping paper, whatever. So I used to just go down the basement. My mom has a stockpile of wrapping paper. This year I had to get my own. So I'm scavenging Target for Hanukkah wrapping paper because it should be 50 to 75% off. And that's what I usually do when Hanukkah is before Christmas. I get the Jewish wrapping paper, the Hanukkah wrapping, because it's Hanukkah's over. Anyway, they didn't have any. So
because the Jews all grabbed it like the very first day. They heard discount.
I know.
It was gone.
So I went fun. I got this chrome black Santa wrapping paper. When you have the option between white Santa and black Santa, you got to go black Santa because black Santa just automatically looks cooler. So I meant to send you guys a picture. I did take a picture of the gifts under the tree. There was Black Santa and there was Disney. And I was going to say, who do you think picked each wrapping paper? And of course, Emily picked the Disney. I picked Black Santa.
You could start a spin-off podcast, the Black Santa Collective podcast.
There's a Black Santa for
real quick. Sorry, there's a new nickname for Sarah, the little entrepreneur Jew.
Entrepreneur. Wow, I'm not able to say that 3 times fast. So I got the wrapping paper. Next day, I started going Christmas shopping. I had to whip out the knee scooter for the mall. And you know what? And it's weird because when I needed the knee scooter to walk, wasn't self-conscious of it, but like now I'm just in two shoes instead of a shoe and a cast.
So now people think you're faking so you could park in the disabled parking spot.
I was like kind of self-conscious about it.
I would be,
but I was there for 2 hours, woke up the next day very sore because being on your knee for a couple hours. I don't know how Nick does it. You get very.
I was going to ask Sarah about that.
I'm familiar as well, but
try one knee next time. I'm telling you, it's a struggle.
They have.
So I did roll around the mall for 2 hours last week. But what I have realized is that I used this practice while I was in school, and I would not write my papers until the day before they were due because I'm like a diamond. I do well under pressure, right? So I write my paper the day before. And Christmas shopping, I'm just going to do it the week before every year because I pick out these great gifts. There's no overthinking because you need to buy the gifts. Like they need to be bought. Christmas is now next week. And they need to be bought. And by next week, I mean, I was buying Emily's gifts on Friday when Christmas was Monday. I bought the wrapping paper Monday. Gift shopping started Thursday and Friday. I'll tell you what, you wait till the last minute, you're going to find something. You can't find anything a month or two before. Wait until the week before. Wait until 3 days before even.
Yeah, because they get a restock.
Miracles.
They get a restock for the people that are going to overspend.
And you get a little discount. Because what's the psychopath shopping a couple of days before Christmas? They start to, because they're afraid, like, oh, are we going to sell this merchandise before Christmas? Well, wait a couple days. Wait a couple days before. I'm telling you.
Just wait until your kid grows up and then they're into something that you can only buy in certain places. And then it all comes after Christmas.
No, I'm raising my kids Amish. I'm not doing that.
Oh,
no, I'm not
even
playing
better.
that game.
Even better.
Wood toys. Here's a stick.
All right, let's get to word of the week. And then Chris is going to tell us all about his Christmas party. So we don't have Abby this week because she's not here. She's with her mom. But we do have the last Lord Remy's word of the week.
Last ever?
For the year.
Oh, okay.
Praise your Savior, let him speak. It's Lord Remy's word of the week.
What is going on the No New Friends
What
podcast?
is this?
Remy has lost his voice and can't do word of the week, but here we go. Today, word of the week is quackery. Quackery. Quackery refers to the promotion of
I told Remy
fraudulent
no
or
ChatGPT.
unproven medical practices, often by individuals falsely claiming to have medical expertise. It involves the deceptive presentation of unscientific or ineffective treatments, typically for financial gain, and poses risks to individuals' health. The term quackery has historical roots and has been associated with the promotion of dubious medical practices for centuries. The word quack originally referred to someone who quacks like a duck, a term used to mock individuals who peddled fake medicines with elaborate or deceptive claims. During the 18th and 19th centuries, quackery became particularly prevalent. With limited scientific understanding and regulation, various charlatans marketed supposed miracle cures, elixirs, and treatments that often had no basis in medical science. These quacks exploited the lack of knowledge among the public and offered remedies for a wide range of ailments, making exaggerated and unfounded claims about their products. Scott Yo Mama is so skinny, she uses a corn chip for a hang glider. And that'll do it for your word of the week. See ya next time.
Praise your Savior, let him speak. It's Lord Remy's word of the week.
I've never, since Eddie Deason got pulled out at 9 p.m., I've never been this confused on the No New Friends podcast.
So, all right, peeling back the curtain. So Remy sent that a couple weeks ago when he had no voice, and I'm like, I'm not playing this. I'm not playing ChatGPT. This is not happening. So we'll just go without that week, and I'll blame it on Abby. So I didn't get one this week, and I was like, you know what? Let me end the year Remy style and play his AI generated word of the week from a couple weeks ago.
That's pretty good.
He better be on next week with a sandwich and an apology.
All right, you're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
There are three things that I hate in life: taxes, nausea, and booking vacations. The first two I'm stuck with, but for the third, I use Sandpiper Vacations. Sandpiper Vacations is a small business that is LGBTQ+ owned and operated with travel advisors all over the country. Whether it's a cruise, a trip to a theme park, or an all-inclusive resort, Sandpiper has you covered. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's free. Why book a vacation when you can have someone else do it for you? That's like choosing to take the stairs in a building that has an elevator. Leave the headaches of booking a vacation to someone else. Get your quote today at www.sandpipervacations.com and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Psst. Hey, you. You want to join a cult? Well, this might be your lucky day. For just $2 a month and a simple blood oath, you can join our clubhouse and become a friend with benefits. In addition to the amazing feeling of donating to the poor, you will have access to Patreon exclusive content, live shows, and maybe even a behind-the-scenes look at my secret stash. To get started, head on over to nonewfriendspodcast.com and hit join our clubhouse. Can't wait to see you at the initiation ceremony. Oh, and in the chat during our live shows, of course.
Hi, this is Bruce Valanche, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast. Unless they look like Matt LeBlanc in the early days, he could be my friend.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast. As always, if you listen to us on Spotify or Apple, please leave us a review. We love that kind of stuff. And I do have a review here from Classic Ryan. And it says, listening to you guys talk about adulting sometimes makes me want to blow my head off. Okay, so
oh wow,
that's a lot. That got real serious, real dark, real quick. So
Apple published that.
Yeah, Apple did.
Wow.
Did. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it said blow Nick's head. I may have misread it.
Oh, they're being inclusive then.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
that's
exactly.
Fine. That's
exactly.
Fine.
So, Chris, we are all dying to hear about your Christmas party.
Yeah, I'm still trying to. Me too. I drank so much during it. I have no idea how it went, Scott. No. So, I hope you all had a nice, relaxing Christmas because I didn't. So Christmas was so weird this year. Usually we wake up and just go over to my parents' place because we were attached, and everything's done for us. Breakfast is made.
Over there.
Yeah, walk all over, just waltz all over. Not this year.
This year walking would have been a problem anywhere, though.
That actually is valid. Thank you for acknowledging my severe injury, Scott.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the diabetes. Took the left.
Alex, cut that. So this year we had to make all the food, and by we I mean Emily made all the food. But I had to do something way more stressful.
Oh.
Logistics. Brand new house, right? Brand new house for us. Moved in here a few months ago. How running the numbers, 40 people could be here for Christmas. Where are we going to put them?
Well,
all?
and luckily the J.A.P. family all very short, so you can fit plenty of J.A.Ps.
That is true. We did stack people on top of others. But shout out to my mom because we don't have tables, we don't have extra chairs. On Christmas Day, I go to my office, go to my business's property to just steal chairs. Like we have I took my mechanics rolly chair because I had no idea how many people we needed. So I just threw all these chairs. Everything that I thought looked like a chair, I threw into my car and just took back to my house on Christmas Day. Throwing table covers on everything. I have a stool I'm throwing a table cover on just to make it look like you can eat on it. And then it's nice out. Of course, we're planning for it to be nice and cold on Christmas. It's nice out. So then
Sarah,
I
also
install the Roku.
Chris is so big, Emily just threw a blanket or a tablecloth over him too, so people could just eat off of his back.
Sacrifices had to be made, Sarah.
40 people. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Oh,
now,
Sarah, sacrifice is what Jesus did. On
Jesus
Good Friday, he sacrificed himself. He was a Jew. Sacrificed himself to your people.
Converted? Did he convert?
Well,
did he ever officially convert?
Because the Jews didn't believe him anymore. They didn't think that he rose.
That's right. So, that's for another episode.
That's for our Easter episode.
So, of course, had to
or maybe our Passover episode.
Had to steal the Roku from our room to put outside, just in case anybody wanted to watch the Eagles game outside. The Eagles played on Christmas Day.
That's right.
Right, so I had to prepare for 2 events, so I had to have plenty of
really,
beer.
In theory, you didn't even need to watch that game. They were playing the Giants. It was probably 42-0 was the final score, most likely.
Yeah, you'd think, but we're playing the Giants and we're the Philadelphia Eagles, so of course it was a close nail biter. So had to have plenty of beer.
Meanwhile, nephew Timmy is like, "Can I open up presents?" Chris is like, "Shut up! The Eagles are on."
Yeah, well, that's actually a true story. We live in the greater Philadelphia region, so all the beer we had went. The beer went before the bottles of water and Capri Sun went. How was my Christmas, you ask? I have no idea. I'm alive, so I'm assuming it went well. It was all a blur from the crack of dawn until the crack of evening, I guess you'd call it. I was drinking a cold Bud Light. I was intoxicated from the very moment it was acceptable to drink, which was a beer in the bathroom at 10 a.m. So Emily didn't see. And a Bud Light because I am inclusive. We are inclusive up here. So I did drink a Bud Light in the bathroom while taking a pee at 10 a.m. It was beautiful. It was our first Christmas in our house. Emily and I, we woke up, we went downstairs at around 9 a.m., opened our gifts to each other, and then immediately got right to mopping floors and sweeping.
Meanwhile, Sarah, what you didn't hear last week is, oh no, you did a couple weeks ago. Chris's mom still does the whole Santa thing, because Chris,
Mm-hmm.
so Chris was very disappointed when there was only like 3 things under the tree. And he's like, Emily, where the fuck are all the presents? His mom hadn't come over yet.
I'll tell you something real quick. Christmas Eve was at my parents' house. And there's been this tradition ever since I was a kid that Santa would leave a DVD or a VHS, whatever it was, outside my sister and I's door. We'd get up in the morning, whether it be 3 or 4 in the morning, find the DVD, and then miraculously go downstairs and want to watch the DVD.
Meanwhile,
until
Chris's dad,
Christmas morning.
Chris's dad to Chris's mom, have you seen my porn DVD? Because they just dropped it.
So adulting tip to you out there: if you don't want your kids to wake you up, leave a DVD from Santa outside their door so they can watch a movie until and then fall asleep. Yeah. So anyway, so it has evolved into gift cards, and I told you that the gift that we get on Christmas Eve has the same wrapping paper as it is on Christmas. Christmas was totally different this year. We opened Christmas gifts from my parents and Santa on Christmas Eve. I pull up to the to my parents' house on Christmas Eve, and I look at the door. I'm like, why is there an advertisement taped on my parents' door? Like, look at like a tree or a lawn care service, like taped something on their door. I walk up to it and it says to Chris, to Emily from Santa, and it's 2 gift cards with the wrapping paper of Santa's gifts to us, so we know which gifts we have. So shout out to Santa. Shout out to Santa, still doing his job at the age of 28, still killing it out there. It was cool to see. Am I 28 or 29? I think I'm 28 still. I don't know. I lose track. It's a happy new year, new me. I'll figure out what I am next year.
He'll identify as a 26-year-old.
Yeah, I identify still as 21, but so does Scott. But yeah, so Christmas was different this year. We have the great excuse of having a child next year to not host Christmas. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, so you're done with it after 1 year? You're like, yeah, we're out.
I do as I'm told right now, Scott. I have a pregnant wife, so I just do as I'm told. But between you and I, we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he did his due diligence on that one.
Any family or relatives listening, you've had your warning.
Sarah, have you hosted a major holiday?
No. I had Thanksgiving here one time.
Okay, Thanksgiving. Gotcha.
Thanksgiving one time, but there was still only 7 of us. So that's really not
though.
In a small apartment. Yeah. That's a decent amount of people. And I feel the pain because Lewis and I actually.
Yeah. What the hell was that? Does Lewis know we're recording a podcast? Was he drinking Medalla?
What is going on?
Is he drinking Medalla back there?
No.
Sarah knows what I'm talking about. Lewis, you drinking Medalla back there?
Does he want a metal straw?
The day that we came back, we had a case of Medalla.
Do you have a friend named
Medalla? Is a Puerto Rican beer.
Do you have a friend named Jen in the background that could talk a little bit?
Background.
My bad.
He said
Lewis,
Lewis,
bad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, Lewis? You drinking Medalla back there?
I wait.
Puerto Ricans go to Puerto Rico. Listen, you had like the baseball jersey on and everything. Like Puerto Ricans get so Puerto Rican when they go to the homeland.
Listen, that's a whole thing. Okay, Lewis and I, he's got the hat. Oh wait, yeah, we got the hat.
Oh God.
We got the shirts, we've got the jerseys, we've got the sweaters, and we got tattoos while we were there.
No.
So,
wait a second.
That's actually a tattoo I want the cookie. I want the cookie
necklace.
tattoo.
Wait. It is. Okay, it looks good.
Is that a swastika?
It looks good.
It's a frog.
It's a frog.
It's a frog.
It's a Taino frog. A Taino frog.
It's a cookie.
It's a coquille. No, yeah, that's what it is. Taino. And
sounds like a fire alarm going off all night long. It's the most beautiful thing in the world.
I love it. And as soon as we got back to Florida, the first night I woke up and the first morning, I guess I opened my eyes and it was dark outside and there was no rainforest sounds. And
that kind of sucks.
Use your Alexa. Do you have an Alexa? She has a rainforest.
That's not the same as living in Puerto Rico.
I don't. Well. Less.
Yeah, it's like car alarms going off. It's beautiful, Scott.
Listen. So Sarah, did you and Lewis get matching tattoos?
Yes, not in the same spot, but we got the same thing.
Did he get the frog on his penis?
Wait,
Oh, that's kind of cool. Right on your shoulders, just creeping up to your neck to give you a little.
Well, he's working on his sleeves, so he couldn't get it. He got
that is true.
Part of the sleeve done today. We're doing it in multiple parts, I guess.
He's wearing a Puerto Rican. I did not know you were Puerto Rican, Louis. I'm glad you're wearing the hat. I'll tell you what, I took a vacation to Puerto Rico like 10 years ago. I wore Puerto Rican flags for the next month, but I could only wear 25% of them. So I only wore like the star places. I couldn't wear the whole thing.
We've got the flag and everything too. Now that you said that,
Sarah was walking around with the flag draped over her. You know, like at the soccer games or the football games,
like she won the Olympics.
Right? Exactly. Viva la Puerto Rico!
Not that. I spoke as much Spanish as possible though to try and fit in, and then I got angry because one day.
Okay, see, papi.
You're like papi. You're probably like hola, everybody.
Yo necesito agua y tequila.
Me llama Sarah.
Anybody got Doritos?
I'm so glad I'm never going to travel with you guys.
Anybody got free Jolays? I could really go for some arroz.
Wait, listen. Okay, now I have to tell it. Okay, we got to a restaurant, and I was so excited.
Let me order.
I did. Okay, listen. I am 166 days into my streak on Duolingo, okay? So we sat down to eat, and I wanted to order my own food. And so I ordered it, and it was beautiful. And I said, that yo quiero arroz y frijoles. And apparently frijoles is a Mexican thing. And so Louis had to explain to me that
arroz con dulces.
It's arroz y habichuelas. And when I reiterated the story to his sister after we got back, I said, "Oh yeah," and I said frijoles, and she goes, "Oh no, you didn't."
Oh, no.
I got made fun of by trying to order a medalla in a bottle. The guy looked at me and he goes, "You have fun out there, okay?" I tried to order it all in Spanish. I tried to do it, and he's like,
"Es loca gringo."
But listen, we were right in Old San Juan where the cruise ships come in, okay? And we were in the car.
That's tourist central.
Windows down, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh my God, is that our cruise ship over there?" And I was like, fuck, I just heard Georgia right around the corner. I need to leave. Take me somewhere else. I don't want to hear Georgia. Or North Carolina, I guess. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, man. Yeah, I do have to ask you.
Okay.
Did Louis buy one of those little Puerto Rican flags with the tassels that hangs from the rear view mirror?
He absolutely refuses to do that because he knows that he's going to get pulled over.
If he was really Puerto Rican,
especially,
he wouldn't care. He would just take it.
Fuck the police.
Well, I'm also Jewish, and I don't want him to get pulled over because if he gets a ticket for speeding, as he normally is, but since he's driving a Honda Civic with the flag in the window, it's going to be a disaster. So we avoid that.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man, I am Puerto Rican. I have Puerto Rican friends. Humble brag. And whenever they go to Puerto Rico, they come back so much more Puerto Rican than when they left. They are so. I bet you that Louis has been talking with an accent for the last couple of days since he got back. Guaranteed.
He's been talking with an accent since we've known him.
He hasn't actually, and I have been trying to get him to speak only Spanish since we've been back.
Oh wow! Because you just don't want to hear him talk.
I don't want to hear him talk in English. Okay. I understand enough to get by, but also to be to enjoy listening to the Spanish. You know.
Yes.
We like that.
Did you go to Senor Frogs? They like the white
Senior
person's
Frogs.
like, got my Senor Frog shirt.
Senior Frog.
I went to Puerto Rico. See my Senor Frog t-shirt.
No, I want to go to the little shacks to eat, all the little kiosks and
So
stuff.
you have to worry about tetanus and food poisoning?
I lived in Asia multiple times. I'm totally fine. And I have a tetanus shot. So if anything happens, I'll be
And
totally
you've eaten
fine.
from a food truck.
That is true.
Listen, I went to a place in Vietnam where the lady was making a salad with her hands, and then she was petting the stray dog and then wiping her hands on a black rag that was originally white, and then kept tossing the salad. And my dad's like, "I'll have one of those." I said, "Where's the closest McDonald's?" So,
So your dad got vaccinated for COVID, but you didn't.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
And Remy just confirmed that Senior Frogs is such a white thing to go to. If Remy confirms it, then yes, it is the whitest thing to go to.
You know what's funny is anytime. So I was born in Florida. I've lived in Florida my entire life, but my family's from New York. So anytime, North Jersey. So anytime I go to North Jersey and into New York, I come back with the accent. Like I've never lived up north, but I am talking full out New Yorker, New Jersey, or as soon as New Jersey and what do you call yourselves? Besides criminals, people, actually. No, it's true. It's true. When I talk inner city, when I'm in the inner cities, I speak. We were in Mexico for a couple of days, and I started just like making R sound like D's, like instead of saying re, like leading, it's like I don't know. And yeah, no, it rubs off. Definitely, it's dialect is definitely contagious. It's definitely contagious. I mean, when I'm in Florida, I act racist and bigotrated. I don't know.
Yeah, bigotrous. Yeah, that's a word. That's a word.
Yeah, it just happens. But when I'm in Oregon, I'm starting to use they, them. All sorts of different pronouns that I never knew existed.
Yeah, you identify as just like a human being instead of a male.
Like exactly. When I introduce myself, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Scott." I identify as a human.
Yeah,
and we go with that. Meanwhile, if there's someone with long hair here in Florida going into the men's room, I'm like, "Oh, that's the men's room."
Yeah, right. It's contagious. Yeah, it's It's the next COVID.
What's that?
Let's all go on break.
All right. So, new year, new me. We're going to change my character a little bit. And maybe this is the last racist episode. I don't know. We'll see.
I would argue that might be more racist after like what you've talked about today. You actually kind of like dove right into it tonight.
Well, I've embraced the character.
You have. The quote unquote character. Yes.
All right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. When we come back, Jersey man, Florida man. So, and 2023, a year in retrospective. I'll look back at 2023. We'll be right back. Hey there, Scott here. You all know I like to spend time wandering the neighborhood on my big wheels or hanging out at the park with my fedora and my Bud Light. So I don't have time to clean my own house. That's why I've been using I Believe services for the past 6-7 years, and they're the best in commercial and residential cleaning. They're also doing carpet shampooing at such a reasonable price. Just check them out. That's ibelieveservices.us. Give them a call, 407-928-4595, and tell them that the No New Friends podcast sent you.
Hi, this is comedian Miguel Colon, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast. Now, next week, we are going to be doing our huge drawing for the $250 Visa gift card. So it's too late to enter now, but maybe pay more attention if we do this again and get your entries in so that you have a chance to win. So, Chris, you have this amazing Christmas party and all that, but it seems like some of your guests have not left.
No, I'm fucking Ant-Man now.
You're Ant-Man, okay.
Yeah, it is Paul Rudd.
I'll tell you what. Listen, We had an ant problem at the apartment. By the apartment, I mean the mother-in-law suite that we lived in attached to my parents' house. So whenever there was any sort of infestation, I sound like Leonardo DiCaprio and Django Unchained. Holy shit. Whenever there was any sort of problem with rodents or insects, we just I just text my mom and be like, I see an ant. Like you gotta
come over here and take care of
this.
this.
I found mouse poop in the crawl space. Like, what am I paying you for? Like,
Sarah, when you were in Puerto Rico with all the roaches, did you kill them or did Lewis?
Get the little
There were no roaches.
Nope.
They're cleaner than we are.
It is true. It is true. The Hurricane Maria just took them right out.
That's what the paper towels were for.
Yeah, Donald Trump threw his tissue, toilet paper to get rid of it. So anyway, so I just called my mom. I called my dad. They listen, I need a mousetrap or something. I'm not doing the mousetrap. I don't kill over here. It's one of the commandments of God. I'm not doing that. So they'd come over and do it. They'd put the peanut butter on the trap, on the glue trap and shit. Very inhumane. Hey, waking up to a mouse chewing its leg off. Like, it's just not something I want to wake up to. Like making my oatmeal in the morning and like go into the cupboard and see a mouse just chewing its leg off. And they do that shit. And not something I want to get a part of. And this dates back to CCD. I don't know if anybody knows what CCD is.
I do. That's like
classes,
yeah.
Right?
It's for the little Catholic kids.
And I will never forget.
Sarah, CCD is the little.
I was lost.
Religious education classes.
Religious education.
We had to go through as little Catholic people. To get the sacraments. No, Sarah, a sacrament is like different, like first communion. Oh, Sarah, communion is when we symbolically ingest the body of Christ. Oh shit. Sarah, Christ is another name for Jesus. Jesus is the guy that you guys killed on the cross. Connected all the dots.
I thought I just
TED talk on Catholicism, Scott. I do blame this all on Mrs. O'Neill in the 3rd grade when I asked her explicitly if I'm walking barefoot in my backyard and I step on an ant, do I commit a sin? Because one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not kill. And she said, well, the commandment says thou shalt not kill. What a messed up answer to give to a 3rd grader.
Wow.
First of all, like now I can't even walk on the grass. I haven't walked on the grass since 3rd grade. So anyway, so now I just can't kill anything. So long story long, when there was an insect problem, I'd get my parents to commit sins and kill them, or rodent problem. Now I live in a house and I got an ant problem, man. I have a really bad ant problem.
Well, maybe if you would start throwing away the half-eaten turkey sausage sandwiches instead of spitting them into an envelope, you wouldn't have ants in the office.
I tell you what, Scott, I thought that was like a peace offering. I'm like, I'll just leave this here for you guys. You leave it the hell alone and just take this. And they've infested my house. They're all over my desk. And I didn't tell Emily because I didn't want her to kill these things. So like, they're not doing anything. They're not bothering me. They're just crawling around my desk. Sure, there's hundreds of them, but I don't, who am I to say where they should live or not live, right? Like, whose land is this? I've been watching a lot of cowboys and like Native American flicks lately. And I'll tell you what, the Native Americans have a very, very valid argument against the land thing. So it's like when I see an ant on my desk, I'm like, is this my land or is this your land, sir? And so I just let them go, man. I'm playing Fortnite, I'm podcasting, they're crawling all over my keyboard. I just let them, there's some of them inside my key. I watched one crawl inside my keyboard. And I didn't type for a week. I was like, I don't want to kill this thing. It found a nice home in my keyboard.
Meanwhile, the ant is Indiana Jones and the curse of the typewriter, dodging the keys as he's running through.
Listen, I'm gonna give him a week to evict from this thing.
Then Chris drops a cheese ball and he's running from the giant ball.
I'll every couple of days I'll just tap the keyboard, be like, hey man, you got to get out of here, or I might press the letter K. K might come down on you. And
why K?
I shouldn't have said that. There was a lot of other letters to pick. I could have picked F1.
Is that a Freudian
I could have picked
slip?
F1 or escape or tab. There's two tabs on my keyboard. I pick K. So anyway,
Sarah, it's because he's writing all the jokes for Cliff Notes, so he has to type K.
Yeah, that is true.
In series of 3, quite a bit.
So, like, I wish this was satire, but as I speak right now, there's
M for muerto.
I'm watching. I was gonna say, as I was, this is not a joke. I was gonna say I see 2 ants on my desk. It's actually 4. One's on my. I'm gonna hold it up right to the right to the camera. He's right there.
Everybody get that phone number.
This is not satire. That was actually the number for my sewage line that just collapsed today. Which is probably why the ants are here. And look at this, right? One right on my drink. See, you just gotta do this. Get a little. Oh man, you gotta blow them off and just keep going. You leave a coffee cup on this. That's why I have to drink black coffee, because they don't like anything without sugar in it, so they don't attack that. The other day, Emily got me gingerbread latte, and there was 4,000 ants coming out of that thing. I'll tell you what. I did commit a sin that day. I did vacuum them out of the cup.
There's no guarantee that they died.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like I vacuum these things up. They're just sucking them somewhere. I'm not killing them. They're just like sucking them somewhere. And Nick sucked me plenty of times. I'm still here. I'm still alive. But no, like you've now seen, if you're a Patreon member, you have now seen 2 ants of the 4,000 that are in my office. So why I'm saying this is Emily texted me a half hour ago saying ants are now crawling around the den. They have now infiltrated the room next to me. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I did the best I could to give them hospitality and a nice place to stay. If they're going to be ignorant enough to try, listen, if they're going to be ignorant enough to go into the room next to me, that's on them. Seriously, think about it. It's like Section 8, right? You give someone Section 8, you give someone Section 8 housing.
Wait, what color are the
that's
ants?
Free housing. I'm not going to call the kettle black, Scott.
Well, it could be red.
No, they're not red ants. If they bit me, that's another story, man. If these things start attacking me and my family, I watched a lot of Yellowstone, Scott. This is my turf. This is my turf, not theirs. No, these are little black ants. It's traditional black ants. And listen, I am giving them free housing.
So you're kind of like Jimmy Carter.
I am. The ants are like Jimmy Carter. They will not die. These things will not die. And I found like a little sweet spot for them the other day. I didn't tell them. I found a little sweet spot like on the ledge behind my desk. And there's like 3,000 of them. I'm not going to lie. There's like 3,000 of them. So I just like blew them off to the corner so she wouldn't see them. Because I didn't want her to see them. I don't want these things to die. Because that's like thousands of lives on my head. Like this is a moral dilemma. This is a genocide. Sarah, you understand? I can't
I'm
do
familiar.
That.
Are you the Hitler of the ants?
I'm not. Listen, I'm not. Listen.
Nothing's on fire yet.
I'm staying neutral here. I'm letting them. What's so dirty about an ant? And see, you guys couldn't even answer that. There's nothing dirty about ants. They just eat sugar. That's like Scott.
It's true.
I put a Diet Coke out for them, and they just leave me be.
You guys ready to play Jersey Man, Florida Man?
Yes.
Please.
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Every week, Game Master Ryan brings us 2 news stories. One is from Jersey, one is from Florida. It is up to us to decide which one is which. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey guys, this is Ryan coming to you from the No New Friends newsroom located this week, relaxing in front of my Christmas tree. Now Christmas is over, I'm just sitting back and reflecting on our Christmas traditions here in North Carolina. Every Christmas Eve, we sit around and read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. None of us know what any of the words mean, but it has pretty pictures. After that, it's time for us to go to our 4-hour shift of watching the Robert E. Lee statue and protecting it from the snowflakes. Then we cap off the night by listening to the choir sing. Here, our choir sings all the way up to the morning of January 7th. I'm a little surprised Scott didn't bring up his favorite Christmas tradition. Every year, Scott likes to rent a box truck or an unmarked van, paint Polar Express on the side of it, and then go pick up all the kids around the neighborhood. He likes to make them all dressed in their pajamas, and then he wears his sleepwear, which he sleeps naked. Then he gives them all hot cocoa, but tastes a little medicine-y and makes them a little bit tired. Once they wake up, they all end up in the North Pole. Or at least that's what Scott calls the shed in his backyard.
Nope.
Anyways, besides all that, I hope you guys got what you wanted for Christmas. Scott, I know you wanted your wife to screw you harder than FSU got screwed. And judging by your continued crankiness, I guess that didn't happen.
Which one?
Well, I hope somebody at least got you that Hair Club for Men membership you were hoping for. At the very least, the Fedora of the Month Club. And Scott also wished that all his little accidents would be forgiven. Sorry, Darren.
Very true.
I also know you asked for that one neighbor to move out. You know what I'm talking about. The reason you lock your car doors at night now? If only your car door is still locked. I've seen your car, Scott. If somebody wanted to steal it, they could take it piece by piece out of the driveway as it's falling apart. Anyways, Chris, I hope you got what you wanted for Christmas. I know you wanted another painless injury so you can milk it for another 6 months and have people take care of you. Well, judging by the looks of you, it looks like Santa got you your entire grocery list. Sarah, I hope you got that coin purse that you wanted. Now you can stop squeezing Lewis's. I hope Santa brought Lewis that work visa. And Nick just wanted his stuff in stock. What? Okay, Steve, sorry. Sorry, guys, that's my friend Steve. He's telling me I need to wrap it up. So let's get into this week's Florida Man or Jersey Man. And for our first story, 2 men are accused of selling fake nursing degrees. And in our other story, a man is accused of using Kool-Aid packets to steal nearly $1,000 worth of merchandise.
So, Sarah, do you know what happened last week?
I was actually there when that happened.
Okay.
And I was equally as confused as you guys. And I almost sent you a message if you need me to fill in for Eddie. I can hop on.
All right, I forget the news stories.
I remember it because the person who gave out fake nursing certifications, I think that
definitely
was Florida,
right?
Yeah,
because they gave them to Mary. Yeah, I think.
What are you talking about? I was not talking. Well, who is what?
Alex, cut that. Yeah, I'm saying fake nursing degrees is definitely Florida. Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I absolutely agree.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that. All right, let's find out the answers.
So our first story is from New Jersey. I know it sounds vaguely familiar in Florida. 2 South Jersey men are being charged in a scheme that allowed thousands of nurses to skip the time-consuming training and licensing by purchasing credentials for up to $15,000. Each defendant is facing up to 20 years in prison. More cracking down on small businesses. Thanks, Biden. So that means our second story is from Florida, where a Florida man is accused of using 24-cent packets of Kool-Aid to rack up nearly $1,000 in fraudulent charges at a Walmart in North Naples. When interviewed, the man had this to say. Yeah! Sorry, that was just Chris Yob after a sunburn. And in other news, travelers cruising to the Bahamas for Christmas wound up in Boston instead. Christmas in Boston? Or rather, signed up for Ocean Gate. Anyways, that's it for me this week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Oh, my God.
Ryan does not disappoint.
Oh, wow.
He does not disappoint.
Never.
He felt really bad because he thought last week bombed. Last week's was funny, but it was, it was awkward because there were some Jewish jokes aimed towards Sarah and the wrong Jew was on. It happens. It's fine.
Yeah.
I did hear it, though. I did hear it and it was amazing, but I also saw Eddie's face.
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah, thank you for listening to episodes when you're not here or watching episodes. I really appreciate that.
I'm very, very sorry that I wasn't on after I promised I would be.
But you're fine. You're fine. So, all right. In the last 5 minutes of the episode, a lot has happened in 2023. This is New Year's Eve. So real quick, just want to reflect on some of the top moments of 2023. I'm sure one of you hit the Google machine,
sure,
and looked at the top events of 2023.
Of course.
So either one of you take it away.
Top 10 drugs to do around the holidays. 2023.
Okay.
All right. I actually have 2023 at Google.
Okay.
What were the biggest moments of 2023? Anybody know?
The Barbie movie.
Coming in at number 4, Android kept updates coming to their cell phones. Number 3, we experimented with AI. So Remy's Roundtable got a huge downgrade this year. upgrade this year with AI. We welcome the Gemini era. This is not good. This is not a good list. I want to talk about the 2023 deaths.
Oh, okay.
And can we rank the deaths? Actually, do you want to
Sure,
do
let's do it.
a death ranking? All right,
I love this idea.
So 2023, I do want to put top deaths in. Top deaths.
2023 top celebrity deaths.
Notable deaths of 2023. Okay, wow, we got a lot actually.
Jimmy Carter's not there though, guys.
Wait, Sinead O'Connor died?
Sandra Day O'Connor. Got it mixed up.
No, Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor died.
I
yes.
have no idea who that is.
You know, nothing compares to you.
No, I
Shaved
don't.
head,
thank you for saying
Irish
that,
singer.
but I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't. Okay, so let's. I've got a list in front of me. I'm sure got a list. I think for like looking at the list, the big one for me was Matthew Perry.
Yeah, not even that big. Like there was not a lot of bad deaths this year.
Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh, did she really die this year?
Yep.
What?
Wow, she was married to Michael Jackson, right?
At one point, yeah.
At one point, wow. Rest in peace to him as well. His autopsy photo was just released today on Twitter. Please check that out if you want
Andre Brager.
Can you pronounce that? Can you pronounce that? Actually,
nope. Tina
the guy
Turner
from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. No, she didn't. No shit. That was like 2012.
Where have you been, Chris?
I actually went through a lot.
Jerry
this year.
Springer.
Jerry Springer.
Rest in peace to my Achilles tendon.
Who cares?
Jerry Springer died. It must have been January. That must have been
no,
January.
It wasn't that. We were supposed to have him on the podcast.
No, it must have been January. It was April, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, rest in peace to that guy.
And I had no idea. Yeah.
No shit.
No idea Sinead O'Connor died.
There's a whole thing about when Jerry Springer died. You should look at that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. First you have my curiosity. Now you have my
also
interest. Wait. First you had my interest. Now you have my curiosity.
Did you know Jerry Springer was born to German Jewish refugees that escaped the Holocaust?
Huh.
I did not. That's not a very Jewish name. I thought if it was Jerry Liebman,
yeah,
I would have
Raquel Welch.
Oh shit! Forgot about Mrs. Welsh.
So yeah, some weird deaths this year, a lot. And then of course, what's Bob Barker, who's not on this list? That was a big one. I mean, he was old as dirt.
Oh, what's his face? Bob Saget.
That was 2022.
Feels like 23.
It does.
Just
it
yesterday.
does. It does.
Oh, Jimmy Carter's wife, Lady Rosalind Carter.
Rosalind.
As Forbes actually was shallow enough to give a top 10 of deaths, and one of them was Andre
from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for saving me from that.
And then look, it was a big year for the podcast. We did a lot of cool things this year. You know, we got into somewhat of those celebrity interviews.
Somewhat is a perfect way to put it, Scott.
Some of them were has-beens. Some of them are never going to be.
No. That's why you got to be a Patreon member.
Yeah, we've got. So I've got my favorite celebrity interview, or my favorite interview that we did, and then I've got my absolute least favorite that we did. So
I'm very curious to hear that,
Chris. Real quick, your favorite.
I'll tell you what. Favorite as far as sentimentalism, if that's a word, is Eddie Deason.
The first one, yeah.
Because I grew up watching Dexter's Lab. I hate it. Polar Express. I hope you're not listening, Eddie. Hate that movie, horrible. But Dexter's Lab, me and my sister used to watch growing up. You played a very pivotal role in that series. But my favorite interview, as far as substance, I guess it would be.
Yeah,
would be Tanya. Tanya's.
You love that Tanya Gilbert episode.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable for me, but at the same time, I felt comfortable. At the same time, I really liked talking to her. Close second was Danny Hagen a couple weeks ago. She was a great
she was fun.
Being. But
Tanya
I will put
that interview.
Great.
I will put that interview out.
Yeah, she was
Tanya Gilbert.
Girl.
Tanya Harding was the skater.
Wow, I just got them two mixed up. Wow.
I was like, did I really miss that one?
I
What
got
the
it mixed
heck?
up because
Eddie Deason made out with Tanya Harding.
Made out with Tanya Harding. No, Tanya Gilbert was an awesome person with an awesome story, and took me out of my comfort zone to do that interview on After Dark. I came out better from it, I think. But Danny Hagen, awesome person. Wish her the best and hope that she has an amazing future ahead of her. She's a really talented individual. Really,
that was a fun one.
Enjoyed talking to her. Yeah.
And I'll put that one out next year for sure. Sarah, did you have a favorite or least favorite interview that we did?
I don't want to say my least favorite.
Okay. I have a least favorite. It was watching you two do it on the way to the Poconos.
Yeah, that's the one. What was his name? That was really bad.
Mark Christopher Lawrence.
Yeah, that one.
He will never listen to this. So.
Bruce Valanche, though, that was great.
That was
he was
good.
Funny.
That's at the bar, and unfortunately, the bar was set too high.
Yeah, Eddie was a lot of fun, though. I do think that he was very, very energetic, but I just think that Bruce was hilarious.
Bruce was a fun one. Bruce was very fun.
And I crack up every time I see that reel go by where he talks about what he eats.
I know you're one of the 20 people. I think it's funny.
Well, I guess I was there, you know.
He was really great. He was an awesome person. And before you go, Scott, wait, Sarah, did you say your favorite?
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce. I just want to make sure I wasn't cutting you off. Before you go, Scott, it was really cool to have the opportunity to interview some of these B, C, D, E, F list celebrities. But I'll tell you what, besides the people who thought that they were A-list celebrities being D-list celebrities, some of these people who knew who they were and knew their role, like the woman from the Hills Have Eyes, Danny Hagen, for instance, they were really cool people, and I really enjoyed stepping out of our comfort zone, doing something like that. But I do want to say, if you don't enjoy that, you don't have to look forward to it. Because we will not be doing those anymore until it's us being interviewed for how the hell we skyrocketed so quickly from a person from New Jersey and two people from Florida and one person from Ohio skyrocketing to fame and fortune.
I love it. Okay. My turn.
Yes.
My favorite by far, Jeremy Miller.
Well, that's because that song. He was a great interview. I just didn't know who he was.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I really knew who he was. I grew up watching Growing Pains. I knew where the interview could go. It went exactly where I wanted it to go. It was a perfect combination of comedy and also some seriousness. And I think like without that interview, we don't take on some of the more serious interviews on After Dark that we did.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it for sure.
And so I love that.
True.
Least favorite, it's a really close tie between
one of them.
The Demonologist and Todd Wolfson.
Oh, the Demonologist.
Yeah. Which
I liked his hypocrisy through the whole episode. I don't know about you guys, but that was fun to watch unfold.
That could have been my favorite interview, actually, was the Demonologist.
Right now, that's just going to be for Patreon for right now. I don't know that I'm going to put those two out there.
You shouldn't,
ever.
as you shouldn't.
Right. It may just be for Patreon.
Strictly for Patreon, Scott.
Well, that was strictly for Patreon. If you want to hear what we say off air and for our Patreon members, just join our clubhouse. Just go to our website, newfriendspodcast.com, and click join our clubhouse for as low as $2 a month. Okay, real quick, favorite moments on the podcast 2023.
Ooh.
I have my two. 100%.
That sucks because that's my two as well, Scott.
It can be both of our twos.
Sarah Liebman, Sarah Cumming and Nick Cumming. Wait a second.
And then Sarah and Nick joining the podcast as well.
Yeah, well, we do that often.
It was okay. So peeling back the curtain, because we're not doing After Dark, so we have to peel back the curtains somehow, right, Scott? Like we have to peel back the curtains in some way, somehow. Let's talk about adding them to the podcast. I think that'd be kind of fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'll do it from my perspective, because you're the person that calls all the shots, and I'm the yes man, because I believe in everything Scott does, because Scott's an effing genius. And Scott doesn't have to tell you, because he tells you every other week, so he doesn't have to tell you tonight. when Scott wanted to bring Sarah on. Sarah, I don't know if you ever heard this story. He goes,
she's heard some of it, but not like
some of it. Sure,
not in the in-depth.
I may have.
Yeah. So he says, listen to episode
I've heard the Scott perspective,
of the Nerd Archive podcast. And I had to ask him like 3 times, like, what episode are you talking about? Because the person that you're speaking of does not speak much, if at all, in said episode. I said, when this person does speak, they're great. But it's like 3 sentences. So I don't know what you see in them, but nonetheless, I believe in every decision you've ever made for this podcast, and let's bring her on. Let's bring her on. And we brought you on, Sarah, and you've been an effing superstar. And I am so happy that, first of all, I'm never going to doubt Scott. I didn't know who the hell you were, but I know your husband is an amazing human being and he's a great person. And I have, before I even knew you, I knew him. And I knew if he chose you to be his partner in life, you had to be somewhat good as well, right? So when Scott wanted to bring someone on and it was his significant other, I was like, you know what? I believe in Scott. I believe in Lewis. Let's do it. And so glad that we're friends now. So glad that we are co-hosts on this awesome podcast. You are a superstar. I'm glad you get to talk now.
Yes.
I'm glad I get to, because for a while it was like that episode of Nerd Archive. I didn't get to hear you talk, but for some reason now I get to hear you talk a lot.
There's a lot of talking that goes on for sure.
Very thankful for that.
Scott gets to hear it every Wednesday after a few tequila shots, and I won't shut the hell up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Sarah. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened.
What didn't happen, or what we don't really talk about, is that conversation actually occurred a month to 2 months before you actually came on for your first episode.
That is true.
Because
yes, that is true.
I had never spoken 2 words to you. Never. And I texted Lewis. I said, hey, I need you to talk to your wife and see if she'd be interested in coming on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't really hear much. And like, there was a little bit of back and forth, but I didn't know where we were going to go. I didn't hear much back. And I said, okay, well, she may not be interested. And then we found ourselves in a situation where it was just going to be me and Chris. And I said, well, you know what? Let me see if Lewis's wife will come on tonight. And it was you and Don't Wreck Yourself, Ryan, came on. And that was kind of like, honestly, that was more our audition for you than the other way around, because I already 100%. Knew that I wanted you on this thing, but I wanted you to have fun and all that. And I remember you and Ryan left, the show was over and it was just me and Chris, and he goes, you got to get her back on here. He's like, you got to get her back on here. We've got to have her. And I said, I know. Right. And then I called Lewis and I said, hey, get her to come back on. And that's when we said, hey, do you want to do this permanently? And you're like, yeah, great.
It's so funny. I was actually just telling this story to Lola like 2 days ago, because she had asked, like, how exactly did all of this happen? I said, well, yeah, exactly. Funny story. Chris had no faith in me. But Scott saw my star quality.
That's funny.
And, no, but it's funny because we were actually just talking about this. And I said, I walked into the bathroom after the episode and all of a sudden it's, can you come back on really quick? Like really fast. And I was like, oh no, they're going to say, you know what? It was really fun, but like, no, thank you. And then as soon as I got on to talk to you guys and you asked me, I was like, oh wow, because I'd never listened to podcasts except for what I'd listened to, the show with Lewis, and that was it. And then suddenly it was like, okay, I'm listening to it every week and now I'm actually on it, which was just surreal for me. But now I literally couldn't. It felt weird even last week going a week without talking to you guys, to the point that I actually had to sign in to watch on Twitch just because I wanted to see what was going on. I'm like, shit, I missed it. I didn't get to go on. Now I have to sit and watch it and at least participate. So I'm very, very thankful for you guys, and so thankful for these people that you've brought into my life as well. So I'm very grateful, for real.
Yeah, I think that the fact that not only we gained another co-host to the show, we gained a friend.
Yeah.
And I speak on behalf of all of us, everybody in the community. Co-host is like awesome that you're a co-host in the show, but even greater that you're a friend of ours now. No new friends does not apply to you. You are a new friend of ours. And super thankful that Scott, out of the 2 sentences you spoke on Nerd Archive, was able to figure out that you're an effing superstar. And Scott's just got that knack for it. And I don't doubt him for a second. So I knew that when he said we should bring her on, I was like, let's try it out. Let's try it out. Let's try it out here.
In that episode, that bongo joke, I will never forget the way that she dropped that bongo joke in Daytona, or something about Daytona or the strip clubs in Daytona. It was something about bongos. It was something about bongos in Daytona at the strip clubs.
She's one of us.
Yeah, and I was like, we have to have her. We have to have her.
That's what I told you, Scott. Like you were talking about the joke that I made about the chorizo and how everybody was cracking up. And I actually had to listen to the entire episode to hear what that joke was. And then when I finally got to the joke, I looked at Lewis and I'm like, I say that 3 times a day. Like I literally talk about your chorizo 3 times a day. And everybody was just going on and on about it. So it's just funny that sometimes I just have to talk like I would every other day, I guess.
You're unapologetically yourself, and that's what everybody loves about you, Sarah.
I try.
Speaking about
guys.
speaking about being unapologetically themselves, breakout star of the year. Spoiler alert for the Friendies, maybe.
Nick from Sandpiper.
Yeah, when we not to drag this out too far, but I would love to just reflect on 2023, and this is the last episode of 2023. So when we started After Dark, it was obviously for a totally different reason. We bring Nick on from Sandpiper to just kind of be a voice of the sponsor of the podcast and to kind of just hang out with him, and he turns out to be just a rock star. Unapologetically themselves could be his slogan. And I think that's why he has skyrocketed to be everybody's favorite person. He is he started out as this kind of timid, shy travel agent, right? Who was just plugging his travel agency, who took a leap of faith, might I add, to start this travel agency. And so we always knew he had it in him. But just skyrocketed to be this just juggernaut of a host on this podcast, and juggernaut of a friend. Just the 4 of us, how close we've gotten over this past year is just amazing.
And what's so funny is when we added Sarah, it was intentional. We needed I wanted to add a 4th. I wanted to add another woman. Because, that was when Mary was very sick. I didn't know what the future was going to hold for Mary. So I wanted to position ourselves to have someone and, fell in love with Sarah's voice and her personality and just how funny she was. Had to have her. Now with Nick, I was very happy with it being 4 of us. I wasn't looking to add a 5th person. It wasn't. It wasn't in the cards. And really, if we lost, in my mind at the time, if we lost Mary, if Mary left or, whatever, it was just going to be the 3 of us. And I was happy with
you
that.
And Sarah. Yep.
Yeah. I was very happy with that. Very satisfied with that. And Nick just came out of his shell on After Dark, and we had so much fun with him. And I was like, you know what? I feel like now's the time. Now's the right time. Let's move him onto the main show, the Sunday show. It's not like it's not like 5 of us are here every week anyway.
Sure.
It'll work out. I knew that moving Nick to the Sunday show was going to inevitably be the nail in the coffin of After Dark, because then it's pretty much the same show. But I was okay with that because I thought he brought so much to the Sunday show, and Nick and Sarah interacting is just, it's this magic. It really is.
You got the J.A.P and the Queen.
What's that?
I said, you got the J.A.P and the Queen.
The J.A.P.
You know what a J.A.P is? A Jewish American princess.
I was going to say Japanese person.
I know. I was like, wait, you're Japanese too?
Like, someone, yeah. Whoa.
Oh, no. Jewish American princess. Okay.
We do have a lot to learn in 2024.
Scott, I think the perfect explanation for Nick would be you're doing like a 2,000 piece puzzle and you accidentally misplace a piece. All right. And it's like, it's not a big deal. We're not looking for that piece anyway. One day you're cleaning for the first time in a year and you have that vacuum underneath the couch and you're like, what the hell is this? It's that missing piece you never knew that you needed. And then when you put that piece in that puzzle, it's complete. And that's Nick. Nick's that missing piece that makes me go, seriously, like Nick was the person we never knew we needed that with. Like when we brought him 100%. On, it's like, this is how are you not on since day one?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the funny thing is we've only had a handful of episodes where it's actually the four of us, but it feels like the four of us have been doing this forever.
And not only has it felt that way, they've been my favorite episodes as of recent, a recent memory. Like when the four of us are on, we all vibe together real well. We all like make each other laugh, and that's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can't forget the little segments that we've added. Jersey Man, Florida Man. Although I believe that was 2022, I think he's been doing that for over a year now, which is incredible. Every week, Ryan delivers an amazing routine that I know, these guys,
an integral part of the show.
Yeah. Remy and Ryan and Sophisticated Gentlemen work so hard on these segments, and they don't get paid. No. They do this because they enjoy adding to the show and they enjoy the comedy and they enjoy making people laugh. But I appreciate these little bits and these reoccurring things. And it's something that I look forward to every week.
Scott, is this year 3 of the podcast?
We are coming up on year 3.
Yeah. So I would think the year 1 is the origin story of the podcast. Year 2 is the identity stage. And I think year 3 is growth. I think this was our big growth year, growing as a podcast, growing as what we are. You cemented what the podcast is going to be about in year 2, adulting and laughing at adulting. Year 3 is growth and adding new people and becoming a closer-knit family. I think that was what year 3 was all about.
Yep. I love that.
I do too.
All right. On that note.
Alex, I think I joked about death too much this episode. You ever just feel like a cleanse from No New Friends?
Oh, yeah, always. Every Wednesday after I get done editing the podcast, I need a cleanse.
Yeah, just like a little bit of family-friendly content, right?
Something wholesome.
You have a recommendation?
Our other podcast is the Disney History Podcast. I think would be a great alternative.
Do I have to like Disney?
It helps.
All right, well, because I love Disney.
Well, that's really good. That's a good start.
Where can I listen to this podcast that I record with you?
Well, our podcast comes out every Tuesday, but if you want, you can also go to our YouTube channel, Diz His Pod, and we have all of our past episodes up on there. We also on all social media under Diz His Pod. We do post every week, and we also have our own Patreon, just like No New Friends.
Really? I'm going to have to go check this podcast out that we do together.
Yes, I would love if you listen to our podcast once in a while.
Chris, what's coming up on Diz His this week?
Scott, there's nothing more that I love to do than transitioning from something super sappy to something super sticky. And this week, we actually didn't have a podcast.
Oh,
we took off. We took off this week.
Did you get ahead? Is there just not an episode this week?
I did get ahead, Scott. But we. So last week we did Babes in Toyland. And this week, Nick showed me what Babes in Toyland was all about. Little did I know, listen, I thought it was just a movie. He was like, no, you're my babe. This is Toyland. He showed me all these cool toys he had. Santa came to town. Santa came to Ohio. I'll say that much. And I was in Toyland for the past week, so I had to take off. Alex had some family in town. I had an excuse to not do a podcast for a week because Alex's family is in town. So we did not have a podcast this week. But if we did have a podcast this week, Scott, it would be brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. Sandpiper Vacations is the best website to go to to get all of your vacation needs answered. Go to sandpipervacations.com, fill out that free quote request, and tell them the No New Friends podcast sent you. Why the hell would you want to do any work before your vacation, let alone on your vacation? Let Nick do it for you. Nick will do everything for you. Nick will be on his hands and knees doing it for you.
Yeah,
and then he'll plan your vacation for you.
I've got a good friend. Some would say looks like a twin of mine, my doppelganger, if you will, has been working with Nick to book their vacation. And said so far it's been a great experience. Yeah,
great. Now, Nick, in all seriousness, if you don't know what a travel agent is, go to sandpipervacations.com and find out. It's 100% free. It's ridiculous. Wish I knew that travel agents existed like years ago, because I thought they were a myth like elves at the North Pole. Santa's real, but elves aren't. Elves are not real.
All right. You can connect with Diz His Pod on all social media. There's other great podcasts that we tell you about every single week. If you forget the podcast or the YouTube channel, just check out our website. They're right there at the bottom, all the podcasts that we support. We're running a little bit long on this episode, so we're not going to do all the shout outs. Sorry. But Chris, do you have any Cliff Notes?
No, we're running a little long, so I didn't do any. Of course I do.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
So I do have to apologize. I did print them out this week. I want to be a little sophisticated. Ants ate the first page of my Cliff Notes. So I do have the next couple of pages. Let me just sort through these real quick. Okay. So to start the episode, I just want to say that we all miss Nick tonight. Well, everyone but me. He's still a pain in the ass for me, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Sarah talked about how she started crying on the plane before her takeoff back to the United States. Now, that's not because she missed Puerto Rico already, but because she was in the middle of Remy's Roundtable, the Florida Theme Park podcast 9/11 episode.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Scott loves ordering things from Amazon during the holidays, not because of the gifts, but because that's the only time he gets boxes thrown at him. Scott loves a good box.
Love that joke.
Scott said his daughter struggled with grades this year and was able to pull the Fs up. She knows the drill because Rachel is always telling Scott to step the F up. So she kind of gets that.
That was good.
We talked a lot about Christmas this year. And for those of you who don't know, Scott actually went to church for the first time this year in a long time. And not because of the, celebration of the birth of Jesus or anything, but he heard they were giving out free bread and wine. So he was there. He was there for all three. I
got banned from the communion wine.
We talked about how dialect is contagious on this tonight's episode. I visited Scott a couple years ago. Wow, a couple years ago already, huh? That's like a year and a half ago. Yeah. Yep. And when I came back up north, I started calling fast food employees boy. Contagious, I'll tell you. It's contagious.
Well, get some fries, boy.
I called Scott and told him these little dark things that mooch off my food and drinks are multiplying like crazy. When I told him it was ants, he was shocked. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. Shark is ants. Crazy. And lastly, we all have a Christmas wish this year, 2023. Sarah's wish was for Black Friday to be every Friday. I understand that. Yeah. Scott's was for sex once a quarter. It's not too big of an ask.
Yeah.
Not too big of an ask. Not too big. 4 times a year. Shouldn't be. No, shouldn't be. Mine was for Mary to come back. Those are my Cliff Notes.
Thank you so much, Chris.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff Notes way.
You can connect with us on all social media. All of our links are right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our super sweet merchandise and join our clubhouse. For as low as $2 a month, you can be a friend with benefit. That's our Patreon. You can watch us record all of these things live as they're happening. Get exclusive content, cutting room floor, things that nobody else gets to see. Leave us a review on Spotify or on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. We love that kind of stuff. It helps us out. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube. Really helps us out as well. On behalf of The Sophisticated Gentleman, Game Master Ryan, Remy's AI, our producer Alex, Nick, Sarah, Chris, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Fuck off. I didn't know what to say. I panicked. I really panicked. I don't even know why I said that. Holy shit. Alex, cut that. Oh my gosh. I offended so many people.
Is that offensive?
I think so. I think it means I don't like people. I'm just telling them to fuck off.
We needed a bye-bye, bitches.